Okay. Okay, that's good. Okay. Frank. Wonderful. Okay, so welcome to peace. Rest as you are. A fresh moment of being. Nothing to seek, to achieve, to pursue. Nothing to attain. Notice that everything which appears disappears instantaneously. Nothing to hold on to, and no issue whatsoever with the appearance and disappearance of things. Because you don't appear nor disappear. Which is this effortless awareness, the hearing of these words, these sounds. The gateless gate of presence, awareness. Notice that there is no border between that which is heard and that which hears. In fact, in hearing, there is nothing heard and nobody hearing. It's just the hearing. And this hearing does not take place in time. It is only an afterthought that says, I heard this and heard that. But in the actuality of hearing, there isn't even hearing. Because there is no time. And it is in this no time, in this timelessness, that the hearing takes place. The eternity and reality of awareness. It's out of this formlessness that the apparent world and body arise. Whatever arises out of the formlessness, although it may seem to have a form, given it arises out of the formlessness, it is formless. The realm of forms is conceptual. And so forms are concepts. The reality of which is the reality which is the isness, the beingness of being. Being is not personal. In other words, it has no borders, no shape or dimension. and being is aware. Awareness meaning knowing, perceiving. Necessitates being. They are not two. I am, and I am aware. I am aware that I am, and I am aware that I am aware. The I am and awareness are one. You cannot say I am without being aware that you are. And this amness awareness is the reality of being, the reality which perceives right now. The undeniability of being, of presence, of I. And it is non-objective, meaning it is not limited. You are not limited. I is limitless. Given the limitlessness of awareness, of consciousness, how would it ever seek anything? Given it is borderless. Meaning beyond limitations, beyond boundaries. It's already everything. Fulfilled. Fulfilled, not for any particular reason, but fulfilled by its very nature. Whenever you are seeking, you are overlooking your reality. Seeking an experience, a state. Seeking freedom. Seeking justice. A better life. You are overlooking your innate fulfillment. Identifying with what? A bundle of stories and feelings and images, beliefs. While you are beyond any identity. You perceive a body, mind, and you identify yourself with a certain form, shape, structure. And we experience ourselves inside a cocoon, while we are this borderless presence. Never been, in fact, anything else. We are seeking peace and happiness. but we are haunted by the sense of lack and the fear of ending. Because we somehow hold on to some identity which is unnecessary. We can let go in this moment. It's always this moment. To see and to understand the falsehood of and the unhappiness of limitation, of identification. Why entertain that which is unhappy? Sometimes strong feelings arise. It takes courage to remain still in the midst of what seems and feels to be a storm. But look at the wide open sky. When a storm arises, the wide open sky remains as it is. Effortlessly, you are this aware presence. Irrespective of what you imagine yourself to be. You may imagine yourself to be a person, a woman, a man, a teacher, a student, an architect. Whatever you imagine yourself to be. Only refers to the body. It doesn't refer to you. Because it's not the body that hears these words right now. It is I. The wonder of being. There's no distance between you and the wind, the sunshine. No distance between you and the universe, you and the heartbeat, you and the sensation of warmth or coolness. There's no distance between you and perception, you and the world. So everything you experience is intimate within yourself. Not intimate within the body or within the brain, but intimate within I. Where do you begin and where do you end in this moment? If thought may arise, so what? Give me something to do. Give me something to achieve, to pursue. Like your pet dog comes to you, edging you to throw the stick so they can run after the stick. Thoughts are not your master. Your pet dog is not your master. They just want to run after the stick. Do you want to run after the stick? Imagine that your happiness, your peace depends on you spending your life throwing the stick. Your pet dog runs, brings it back to you. Imagine that your peace and happiness depends on that. Why? This sense of me, this feeling of me, it only defines a feeling. It does not define you, that which perceives sensation within your body. It is always in the present, in the now, that you choose to remain as you are, rather than imagining yourself and believing yourself to be somebody who's lacking, missing, somebody who's limited. It's always in the now. All is well in and as presence. Well, if you have any questions, anything that you would like to explore, any questions?
Hi, Magdi. This is John.
Yes, hello, John.
Hi. This has been very important for me to hear, and and I have to say that your voice comes in when I'm fearful. Sometimes it arises, and your sayings and truth. And I just want to say that last week, I guess it was, the eye specialist told me that I have macular degeneration in the eyes, and the one eye, he said, is there was some, I don't know, some kind of hill or something. He pointed out an image or something. He said, that's going to collapse and you're going to lose your central vision. And there's nothing we can do about that. And I get shots in the other eye and stuff like that. But anyway, I've been having some fear, and also fear about big fears are about losing my job, because I need my sight to drive and stuff. I drive, and and then I don't really have, all these things about not having money and not being able to. I mean, I can't even afford. I could probably have to do a $600 rent, and that's not happening in this county. So there's a lot of fear, and yet at the same time, there's been peace. It's just, and I haven't actually tried for it. It's just all of a sudden there's peace. And then when I investigate, looking for that person that's afraid and stuff like that, I can't really find a local person except for changing feelings and thoughts and so forth and so on. Anyway, I just thought I would mention this, and I think like I'm gonna I won't even have a cell phone to listen to Magdi, and I'll be homeless. And anyway, these things are coming, and I can't. I'm not going to try to make them stop, but I do see that this is a time to do the investigation, to do the inquiry, and to inquire, and it definitely is. And so I just don't know that I'll be able. But those are thoughts too. I don't know that I'll be able to keep it up, but that's probably not true. There's no other way to go for me. And I know it works. It's the truth. So, I just have to let go and let things be as they are. So anyway, I just wanted to mention that. Maybe you can say something to that. Thank you, Magdi. I'll listen.
Yes, John. The concern about the body, about the health of the body, the functioning of the body, has its place in our experience. So we get concerned and we investigate various ways of improving the situation, responding to the situation, doing our best to treat the body with care and love and attention. So the concern about the body has its place, and it's appropriate. We are the managers of the body, but we are not the body. We're in a way temporary. We have a lease on the body, for the body, at least for the body, a temporary lease. So we do our best with that. But we are not the body. The I is not an objective. It's not an objective I. It's not an immaterial I. Consciousness is non-phenomenal. It uses the body for various functions. It uses the mind. Out of its creativity and freedom, all sorts of minds, the minds of ants and antelopes and whales and infinite galactic beings that we don't know of. It's the creative aspect of consciousness, consciousness in movement. And you are that consciousness, you are that. Beyond time and space, beyond birth and death. And yes, there are some concerns, appropriate concerns about our body, about our car, about our bank account, about our job. But appropriate, meaning it's a response. It's responding in the moment in a responsible way. The responsible way is a response that does not come from ignorance. It's a response that comes from wisdom, from love, from understanding. The understanding that consciousness is not a mortal body-mind. Consciousness does not exist in time and space. And that there is one reality. One reality means love, means no division, no non-duality. In non-duality is love. Love is non-duality, non-dual. Being is one being. It's not being somebody. It's being. Beingness is not being a body that's born and dies. So this situation, you can consider it to be, like Francis often used the word yoga, an opportunity for you to be with this situation of your body as consciousness. It may take some courage and love above all. Love which arises from our understanding. The understanding about truth, about the reality of consciousness. So take every opportunity that is arising for you, for all of us. As an opportunity to deepen your stability as awareness, as consciousness, not as a body-mind. Be open, remain open. Don't painting a gloomy picture, my job, my this, my house. Don't remain open, flexible, fluid, open to the unknown. not expecting something, just to be fresh moment by moment. Not to define yourself in any way. There is vision through the eyes, and there is inner vision. Inner vision is with the heart. The inner vision is like the sunshine, and the vision through the eyes is like a candle. Don't make a big deal of the candle. Rather, go for the sunshine of the heart. So when these thoughts about doom and gloom arise for you, they are like tempting you to revert to the me, to revert to the belief that consciousness is mortal, limited, dependent on the body-mind. So these would be your opportunities to be free from these beliefs and feelings that are just passing events. Like clouds in the sky. Consciousness is the true vision. Don't live your life in time. Live your life as presence. You already have the understanding, John. I know you do. And you have more than the understanding. You're in good hands. I wish you the best, John.
Thank you, Magdi. Namaste.
Namaste.
Hey, Maggie.
Yes, Frank. Hey, Frank.
Hey, it's Frank. Yeah. Hey, how you doing? So I don't have a question today,
Mm-hmm.
but I wanted to just, while you and John were talking, kind of reminded me that I've been practicing this idea that, like when you talked about openness, practicing the idea that it's just to be open for everything, to anything, including love from different sources other than the ones that I always feel like I want to get love from. And that's kind of opened up a lot of things for me. I've noticed I'm having like more positive interactions with people in general.
Yes.
So I just wanted to share that. In fact, I've got this little thing that I wrote. I have it on my notes. It's from Franz Kafka, the German writer. And there's this beautiful little story, if I can read it to you.
Okay.
So it says Franz Kafka, who lived, was born in 1883 and died in 1924, who never married and had no children, walked through the park in Berlin when he met a girl who was crying because she had lost her favorite doll. She and Kafka searched for the doll unsuccessfully. Kafka told her to meet him there the next day, and they would come back to look for the doll. The next day, when they had not yet found the doll, Kafka gave the girl a letter written, quote unquote, by the doll saying, "Please don't cry. I took a trip to see the world. I will write to you about my adventures." Thus began a story which continued until the end of Kafka's life. During their meetings, Kafka read the letters of the doll, carefully written with adventures and conversations that the girl found adorable. But finally, Kafka brought back the doll. He bought one that had returned to Berlin. "It doesn't look like my doll at all," said the little girl. Kafka handed her another letter in which the doll wrote, "My travels have changed me." The little girl hugged the new doll and brought her happily home. A year later, Kafka died. Many years later, the now adult girl found a letter inside the doll. In the tiny letter signed by Kafka, it was written, quote, "Everything you love will probably be lost, but in the end, love will return in another way," unquote. So I just thought that was a really sweet story.
Yes. Thanks for sharing that, Frank.
Sure.
A sweet story, very sweet. You know, love seems to leave us because we leave it. We leave love whenever we are seeking an object, whenever we're seeking a phenomenal experience, a state of mind, a feeling, a relationship. Whenever we are seeking something apart from happiness itself, from peace itself, from love itself, whenever we are objectifying love, we are leaving it. Because by objectifying love, we are personifying ourselves, and personifying love, we're separating ourselves from love. Because everything and everybody is this one reality. There is no reality outside of one reality, the reality of consciousness. So in reality, there are not two. It's just one reality. Because there are not two, that's love itself. Love itself is not two, or oneness, or wholeness. So the more we recognize and we live as this oneness, whenever we perceive the other as ourself, not as somebody else. When we perceive first ourself, not as somebody, when we stop, and always in this moment, perceiving ourselves as somebody, a man, a woman, this, whatever way we imagine ourselves, and we say, no, that's just a belief. It's just an image. It's just a feeling, something arising. I am not that. I am consciousness. I'm that which perceives. I am that which the perceiver. I'm perceiving these thoughts. I'm perceiving these feelings. So therefore, I cannot be this object that I'm perceiving, this Frank, this Magdi, this somebody that I'm perceiving. And so we see that and we understand it. We say, yes, I get it. I get it. I am the reality that perceives. I can perceive a tree. I can perceive an object. I can perceive a thought. But I cannot perceive that which I am, because I am that. I am that which is beyond perception, non-object. I'm not an object, subtle or gross. It's of perception. I am the reality of perception, the reality of being. So whenever we sort of go along with that understanding, we say, yeah, okay, I get it. Yes, I say yes to this understanding. And so then we're more and more open to living as that. Living as that means one reality. The other is myself. I am the other. I am the world. I am the bird. I am the clouds. I am the universe. Not I am this and this and this, but not that. That's already separation. I am everything except that. That's separation. See? So we live as this unknown. Here we are, wow, we're walking in the garden. We don't know, but we know we're in the garden. We meet, whatever we encounter, hello, hi, fresh, new, open, undefended, unprotected beingness. So we explore this way of living. And yes, as you say, you will find it is more and more, the shoes start to, we become more and more comfortable with that new pair of shoes. It's actually not a new pair of shoes. We've always been this aware presence. It's more about letting go of this habitual belief that I am this person, I'm this person, I'm this person. How can you be this person? Because you're perceiving this person. You couldn't say I am this person without perceiving this person. You have to first perceive it, and then you say I am it. You have to perceive it. See? So given that you're perceiving, then you are that which perceives, whatever that is. We say reality, consciousness, presence, being, whatever, it doesn't matter the words. So I am that which perceives, the reality of perception. See? So the love, then we realize more and more that we only leave the love out of our choosing to be me. So therefore I'm not you. Okay, I love you if you, let me look at whether you fit the mold, you say, you fit all the conditions. Then, okay, I love you 75%, but I love him 82%, and I love her 99%, you see. So that's not love, you see. So this is what we do in our habit, We don't notice, but it's subtle, but it's there, we do it. So you become more and more sensitive to how you're separating yourself, from him, from her, my beliefs, my ideas. Is she, is he, are they fitting my mold? Are they disappointing me? Do they like me? Did they look at me the right way? Blah, blah, blah. Right? So all that is nonsense, you say. Because we're begging for somebody to love us. Please, please, please. Hello, please, please love me, you say. But you cannot be loved that way, because you're an object and you're becoming a beggar. You're not loving yourself. You're not loving yourself because you are needing love. How can you find love if you're needing it? You cannot be both needing love and being love. If you're needing love, you're in the ignorance. See, because I'm playing the game of lacking, the game of lack, of need. But I will get it if and when, This is all the game of time. Happiness tomorrow. If and when all the stars line up and I get bingo, boom, I win the lottery of happiness tomorrow. Of course, I'm going to go tomorrow because I'm not happy now, you see. But reality is now, right? Reality is now. It's not tomorrow. Or isn't it tomorrow or before? The reality is now. So whatever you are seeking is fulfilled right now. It is 1,000% fulfilled right now. But you don't see it. We don't see it because you say, oh, no, I need this, I need that. But maybe tomorrow, I have a little. No, it's now. Peace and happiness is now. The freedom of being is now. The veil is in this habitual defining myself as somebody that I need to protect, to defend my point of view, my feelings, don't hurt my feelings, blah, blah, blah. All these games we play, but they're unhappy. Anyways, I'm sorry. Yes, just right. No, that was a sweet story, Chad Frank. Thank you.
Thanks, Magdi. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Okay.
Magdi.
Yes, hey Zoe.
Hi. It was like listening to you guys. It's like God is constantly saying, all I have is yours. And we're going, no. Yeah, it's just beautiful.
Yeah, there's nothing lacking in being.
Yeah.
In being somebody, yes, or lacking this, lacking that, blah, blah, blah. But in being, there's nothing lacking in being. Of course, for the body, yes, we need this, we need that. That's normal. That's for my car, it needs this and that. The garden needs watering, I don't know, fertilizer, pruning. But for being, for I, it's nothing lacking. So you have the distinction, it's a fine distinction between I as being and I as me, I as a feeling or a sense of being somebody. It's a distinction. Before the sense of being somebody is being, because the sense of being somebody arises within being. You cannot say, I am a woman, I'm a man, I'm this, I'm that, without awareness, so our primary experience is being, is awareness. See, let's need to sort of bring that into the foreground, sort of get it like a living sense of that, because it's our primary, this is the our ongoing reality. Even when you imagine yourself to be a butterfly, you as awareness is there. When you imagine yourself to be a lion, or yourself to be a bird, when you imagine yourself to be unhappy, when you imagine yourself to be successful or unloved, whatever, your primary experience is awareness. It's like in the wide open sky, there are all sorts of clouds, all sorts of shapes, all sorts of forms, all sorts of weather. But wide open sky of being is always unformed, not an object. See, so the I in this moment, the reality that is completely transparent, complete transparency. See, that which perceives, which is you, I perceive this and that, but I am transparent. If you were not transparent, you couldn't perceive, because there would be a collision between perceptions. If you were not transparent, then the perception will hit your non-transparency, you see. But because you are transparent, then you perceive, It's like a screen. The screen is more blank screen. Because it is a blank screen, you can see, you can perceive the image. It can represent the image, or the mirror, like the mirror, because the mirror is not, that doesn't have a color or a shape. It can reflect all the colors and shapes and forms, and and that's our reality of being, a reality of consciousness, my reality, your reality, the reality of being. You see, and then, like, all the images that the mirror reflects, they're not like some real objects in the mirror. It's not like, oh yeah, the mirror is reflecting a dog. There's a dog in the mirror. No, there's no actual object that's apart from the mirror. It's a metaphor, of course, but in your experience right now, is not any part of your experience you can pull out of your experience. You can pull out of yourself. You cannot take the hearing, this hearing, out of consciousness. Is, oh, what? No, that's a different thing. That's a separate thing called Magdi, or a separate thing. That's not your experience. That's just a thought. It's a thought which is arising within the mirror. The thought that says, "Oh, there is a dog out there. There is a Magdi out there." It's a thought. The Magdi out there is reality of the Magdi out there is consciousness itself. Is consciousness. So consciousness takes on the form of infinite universe, infinite world, like the mirror takes on the shape of whatever is reflecting, but it's never dual. It's never dual. You see, it's not. So of course, the mirror is a very simple metaphor, because it's like sort of a flat, two-dimensional plane of reflection. But imagine a multi-dimensional frame as an image of reflection that is reflecting in all various curvatures and angles and dimensions that the mind cannot conceive. That would be another image of another metaphor of looking at consciousness in movement.
That's gorgeous. And just to say to John too, yes, I wish the best to you. That really touched me to hear you speak about that. And yes, Magdi, it's like the transparency, the intimacy of everything. That, like when you said, thoughts are not your master. Well, they sure as heck used to be.
Right. Right.
Now I can see them almost. It's like they're like, do I want to throw the stick again?
Yes, right.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, Zoe, lovely to see you. Yes. Hello, Holger.
Hello, Magdi. I have the feeling this satsang will never end.
Yes.
And it's so amazing, our bodies, this biological intelligence that cares for everything. And I once was a massage therapist, but it didn't last very long. This doom and gloom is part of a business model to make people afraid.
Mm-hmm.
That was just my personal experience in my own childhood and later in this massage business. And this biological intelligence, it's such a divine gift, and it's so intelligent, and it does everything by itself. And just the separate self adds all this doom and gloom and wanting to do something. And it's such a gift, this just to have a body and to. I had often fears losing my eyesight or not being able to work or losing my hands or not being able to walk. I mean, I went through the whole spectrum, not being able to hear. Mm. And in a way, this is just maybe a neti process to just see who we really are.
Yeah, you know, there is in the Zen tradition, one of the koans is what is your face, or what is your original face before you're born, before even there were hands and eyes and nose and ears and toes. What is your face before you're born? The body is sort of an add-on to the reality, to our original face, our true nature. And but it's not an add-on that has an independent reality. There is no phenomenal or physical or physiological reality that's out there. There are worlds and universes and galaxies, but there is one reality. Like in your night dream, there are infinite worlds and universes and experiences and forms and creatures and experiences, but there is one reality, which is the mind of the dreamer. In the case of this metaphor of the night dream. But in the reality of in reality, there is just reality. Reality, there's just reality. Yes, it sounds banal, but yes, in reality, there's just reality. In fact, in truth, there's just truth. There isn't like half a truth or 2/3 truth. It's just one reality. So body, when you say body, eyes, ears, nose, all of that we're always referring to the reality, not as a separate reality of their own. So in our imagination, we imagine a physical reality. We imagine the real bodies endowed with real consciousness. And of course, as you were saying, there's a big, in ignorance, that's ignorance. There is further ignorance that follows the exploitation of this model. You know, well, how can I, this particular body mind, this separate body mind, make whatever, money, have a lot of pleasure, have power, whatever it is, out of that model. How can I navigate that model so I can get all sorts of goodies? But it's not the goodies that I'm looking for. In fact, we are looking for happiness. We think that by being a multi-billionaire, we'll be happy. We think that we will have a very healthy, wealthy body, we'll be happy. is happiness that we are seeking, which is really beautiful. Seeking happiness is really beautiful, but seeking it in the wrong direction is very bumpy. It's a bumpy road for everybody to be seeking happiness.
So it's not seeking happiness, it's knowing happiness.
Yes, well, we seek it until we know it. We knowing happiness means being happiness.
Yeah.
Being happy. When being happy, when you are happy, you know happiness as being happy, as I'm happy. That's how we know happiness, as I'm happy. But because we are unhappy, well, in a certain, yes, because we are unhappy, let me not dress it up, we seek happiness. And so because like a child that's being removed from their parents, they're seeking their parents, or the prodigal son who is lost in the village is looking for their home. All these parables about finding our true nature, our the peace and happiness of being. Is that that's it? So peace of happiness, being peaceful and being happy is in being. It's in being. It's not in anything else than being. And being is non-objective. It's right. So you're right in that. In a way, we're seeking that which we are. I think that's what you were saying. Yeah, that we're seeking that which we already are, but we don't know it. And so when we hear, okay, we're seeking that which we are, we sort of get it, and we don't get it. We get it in that, okay, it sort of makes sense, because how could I be seeking, something that I don't know? You must have some sort of inner knowledge of that which you're seeking. Otherwise, you'd be like blind seeking whatever, no. So yes, it makes sense. But although we understand it, the habit, the habit of being in the phenomenal realm of giving reality to phenomena, giving reality to the body, reality to objective happiness. That habit is a stubborn, it's a stubborn, and so more and more we visit God's castle, and we get the perfume of, we get the hint about where the treasure is, you see. And that's the path. We sort of unknowingly we become more and more happy, or let's say less and less unhappy, whatever way we put it, doesn't matter. More and more we are less and less disturbed and upset, and it may take a while for us to realize, oh, gee, amazing how much I've changed over the past year. Things have changed somehow.
It's so beautiful when you say formlessness, because for a long time I always used the word nothing.
Yeah.
But formlessness is much nicer, because it's the fullness of life.
Yes.
It's not empty.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, that's the teachings of emptiness. We can talk about that next time. That's a good question to look into, because that's there's a lot of misunderstanding about emptiness, and it's the fullness, of course. It's a wholeness. It's a fulfillment. In fulfillment, there is no lack. So in emptiness, it's a different thing. We'll talk about
it's a mental emptiness.
Yeah, there is the emptiness, which refers to the emptiness of the mind, which is sort of the experience of it's a, or nothingness. It's still a something. It's still a there is a nothing which is still a something. Let me put it another way. It's there is an experience of emptiness which is not fulfillment, where the mind, it's more at the mind level. It's still an experience. It's not the true emptiness. Because the true emptiness is not an experience. It's not a mind experience. It does affect the mind, but it is the emptiness of being, the emptiness of consciousness, of universal emptiness. It's not a personal emptiness. It's not a so there is the emptiness as a state, and there is the emptiness that is universal emptiness. That is, it's not a state. The emptiness of being. So the states, all states appear within this emptiness. All the states appear within the emptiness of being, the emptiness of consciousness, including the emptiness state. The emptiness state has a certain feeling to it. It has a, maybe in the cellar, there is the sense of me. It's not true emptiness. The emptiness teachings that, for example, in the Buddhist tradition, they refer to the emptiness. Buddhas, the I am nothing. The Buddhas, I am the nothingness of being. So you could be empty and be full of emptiness, but you are still a recipient. Is that the right term? Recipient.
Receiver.
Yes, which is different from being emptiness, but not a recipient. The borderlessness of emptiness. And there is in the perfume of freedom, of joy, of peace, of love. That's the cachet, that's the seal of God's emptiness. And it's not phenomenal. It's not phenomenal.
So it's formless.
Yes. Back to the circle. And that's when we speak of transmission. That's what's transmitted.
Yeah. But who cares? I meant it in a loving way. I mean that. Thank you.
Okay, Holger.
Thank you.
well, very lovely to be with you all. Thank you, Walter, Zoe, Holger, Frank, George, and George, Mina.
Thank you, Mike.
Grace, lovely Mina. Nice to be with you and see you. John,
Thank you.
Holly,
Thank you.
Richard, Rahul, Lucas, Marga, Kelly. Very lovely to be with you. Okay, see you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Kelly, yes.
Everyone.
Thank you,
Namaste.
Magdi.
Thank you, Magdi.
Great to see you all.
Thank you.